grab your drinks and have a seat. It's time for serial killers.
We're here.
Yes, we are.
Again.
1 day, 2 days till we go to Disney.
We will be at Disney. I'm Jay. I'm Jay.
No, you're not.
I'm Jay. You're T. No, I'm T.
And I'm Jay.
And we are here to tell you about
Serial killers.
We just got done camping. And I had to record with crime bitches too. So I am just really tired today.
Doubling it up.
And we have to double it up because, like Jay said, we're going to be going to Disneyland for our anniversary this week. So by the time you hear this, you'll have missed us. We'll already have been there. So suck us.
Mm-hmm.
But we're celebrating our anniversary a little bit early this year. For everybody who wants to know, we've been married for 25 years.
Quarter of a century.
Yeah. And so it's a big one. We even have matching shirts.
It is a big one. It's the silver.
It is the silver anniversary, and I don't like jewelry, so Disney
so
it
we
is.
Put silver on our shirts.
We did. We have very cute shirts that I'm very proud of that we made. On the front, it says Mr. and Mrs. 25 years, and the 25 is silver. And then on the back, it says...
Well, it's Mickey and Minnie driving in their car.
Driving away, the backs of them.
And it says, nothing can stop me now.
Us. Nothing can
stop us now. 25 years.
Yep.
And for people, if you've been to Disney, there's a ride. There's
a song. The Mickey and
Nothing
Minnie.
Can stop us now.
Yes, the Mickey and Minnie run. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. So we have to pre-record this, and there's all these things that we have to get ready to be able to leave. And I got one full day left to do it because we went camping before, and now I'm really tired. So I guess that leads us into...
What are we drinking?
What are we drinking? Today I am drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper. I'm drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper. We're recording this in the evening, so I'm not drinking any coffee. I already had my coffee. But I do like a Diet Dr. Pepper once in a while.
Yep, and for people who have listened to the last couple of podcasts, you may
Can
have
you
heard
guess?
me talk about...
Can you guess what Jay's
Milo's
drinking?
0-calorie sweet tea.
He might as well just start doing commercials for them because that's literally all he ever drinks now. We buy it in the gallon. I mean, last time he bought 2 gallons, I was like, what do you need 2 gallons for? He's like, oh, so I can just kind of sip on it. Those 2 gallons were gone within a week. 1 week. And he's the only one who drank it. I said, pump the brakes there, buddy. I said 1 gallon per paycheck.
Good stuff. 1 gallon per week.
No, 1 gallon per paycheck.
Negative.
Because that's way too much for somebody. Anyways.
Nope. All right. So who are we talking about today?
Okay, so before we get into the episode, y'all know how this goes. This man that we are going to be talking about, he was not a very good person. And this episode is going to deal with rape and dismemberment. So it's not totally gruesome because I don't go into too much detail. But I want to give a fair warning that that's what this has to do with. So if it's not your thing, we'll catch you next week.
We'll see you next week. And if it doesn't bother you, welcome.
So for those of you who are like me who want to know these things, we are talking about Sean Vincent Gillis. So Sean has 8 victims. His murder dates are 1994 to 2004. His location is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His method of murder is strangulation and stabbing, and some characteristics of his murders are rape and mutilation. Sean was born June 24th, 1962 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he was born to Yvonne and Norman Gillis. Now, Norman was an alcoholic and had some issues with some mental health, and it is said that at one point he actually held a gun to Sean's head when he was a baby, which is kind of what triggered the after effect, which was that Norman leaves his family. He abandons his family. And I don't know if he abandoned his family because of what he did or if Yvonne was like, get out, Because like I'd probably be like, get out. So since Norman decides to leave, this actually leaves it to Yvonne to raise Sean on her own. But she does actually have the help of Sean's grandparents as well. So it's kind of the two of them, like the group of them. Takes a village type thing. And according to his mother, Sean seemed to be a pretty normal child. He got good grades. He did normal child things. He had friends. He wasn't super withdrawn. He didn't really do bad stuff. And everything seemed fine. Well, around the age of 10, he starts to show signs of being a bully towards other children. So it took until he was about 10 years old before they started to see some weird behavior issues. And his friends and him also went through a phase and they became interested in devil worshiping.
Well,
now also during his adolescent years, one of his neighbors said that they heard a really loud banging noise at 3 a.m. And they looked outside and they found Sean hitting garbage cans at the time, like outside of his home. So the next day, one of the neighbors approaches him and was like, "What the fuck, bro? You were outside hitting garbage cans at 3 a.m., waking up the whole damn neighborhood." To which Sean says, I was mad because I didn't have a girlfriend. So I took it out on the garbage cans. Okay, like, just leave me alone. Now, he was actually described by some of the other neighbors, as a boy who would have fits. And he was actually described as an angry little boy by quite a few of his neighbors. So clearly something happened between his really early young years and then his like later adolescent teen years. In the 11th grade, he ends up dropping out of high school. And that's pretty much the most of like his younger, like teenage and younger years. Now in 1980. So this is the year that his troubles start for the most part. So he's 17 years old in the year 1980. And he gets caught for some minor infractions that he ends up having on his record, such as things like traffic citations, DUIs, possession of marijuana, contempt in court. Nothing that is like
major, just little things.
Right. Nothing that would make you go, ooh, he might become a serial killer, right? Like nothing. It's just like, I mean, if I'm going to be one of those people, it's just like 17-year-old doing stupid 17-year-old shit,
yeah.
Right?
And mouthing off, contempt of court.
Right.
Like
and just that. Like, yeah, just doing dumb shit. Now, as an adult, he continues to struggle. And he actually has multiple jobs, including becoming a computer operator type person. He actually went to a community college and got certified in computers. So he ends up having this job. Problem is, being that he's somebody who knows computers, he actually has a computer at his house. You have to think this is probably by this point, late 80s, early 90s. Okay. Which,
not a ton of computers out there, at least. Like not in everybody's home.
No, because like I want to say, we got our first computer when I was probably in middle school, which means that would have been the early 90s. And that was not everybody had computers in their home at that time.
Right.
So you got to figure if you're working on computers, though, you most definitely have access to computers. Well, he ends up having a computer in his home. And as one does, he peruses, I don't know, I'm guessing he had dial-up internet or some shit, because he ends up becoming fascinated, if not really obsessed, with pornography that he was finding on the internet. Particularly videos and pictures that would show rape, killing, and dismemberments, and he'd watch them all the time. He actually ends up losing jobs because he would stay home to watch porn instead of go to work. So like really heavily obsessed. Now in 1992, his mother gets a job, and the job that she gets moves her to Atlanta, Georgia. Now she offers Sean to come live with her because I believe up to this point he's living with her in her home. And so she's like, "Do you want to, come live with me in Atlanta?" And he was like, "Nope, I do not. I do not want to go live in Georgia." She's like, "Fine, okay, well, I'm going to leave. But, you're welcome to stay here." So she moves. She leaves Sean alone for the first time in 30 years of his life. So he's 30 years old and she moves away. And it's the first time ever. It is later said that he was seen multiple times outside yelling and like screaming at the sky and cursing his mother for leaving him. But he didn't want to go with her.
So we got some abandonment issues there.
But she offered. He did not want to go with her. She offered for him to go and move. He did not want to go. He was also apprehended in 1992 for peeping in the windows of a female neighbor's house. But he tells the officers when he gets caught that he was just looking for his cat. And lo and behold, I'm pretty sure they believed him because he doesn't have peeping Tom on his record. So for all you peeping Toms out there, just tell him you're looking for your cat. And maybe that'll buy you some time.
Or just don't do it.
Or just don't do it. Now, in 1994, Sean meets a woman named Terry Lemoyne. And they begin dating. And they move in together by 1995. And she begins to realize a little later in their relationship, she begins to realize that Sean has an addiction to pornography. However, she didn't really watch the pornography he was watching. Like, they didn't watch it together or anything. So, like, she knew he was...
Yeah, she just knew he was watching something,
right,
but didn't know the details.
She didn't watch it. So she wasn't really paying attention to what he was watching. And so when they interviewed her later, she had said, I had no idea the horrific shit he was watching. Like, I didn't realize that's what he was watching. I just thought he was addicted to pornography. And for me, it was like, okay, well, I don't care about that. Which also... I would care about that personally, but whatever. Then in March of 1994, Sean enters into a retirement home where Ann Bryan, who is 81, she lived in this retirement home in Baton Rouge. He had actually planned to rape her, but she screams when he tries to touch her. So he ends up slitting her throat to shut her up and then proceeds to stab her 50 times. And when I say slit her throat, he almost decapitated her. So there was no need to stab her 50 times. There was no need.
Yeah.
Then on January 4th, 1999, Sean lures Catherine Hall, who is 29. She is a prostitute, into his car. He strangles her with zip ties. She struggles and fights with him, and she actually tries to get out of the car, and that's when he decides to stab her to death. He then undresses her and mutilates her body. Now, I want to make it clear before I go on, majority of Sean's victims are prostitutes.
Because he probably figures it's easy.
We actually don't ever know why, because he never says. May of 1999, Sean actually sees this woman, Hardy Schmidt, and she's jogging through the park. And he sees her, and he's like, yep, okay. And he starts stalking her. Like, he stalks her every move. And he ends up stalking her for 3 weeks. And he hits her with his car. On the day that he decides he's going to take her out, I guess, he hits her with his car. This knocks her down into a ditch. He then places a zip tie around her neck and strangles her, but not enough to kill her. And then he takes her to a secluded area. He rapes her and then he kills her. And he leaves her body in the back of a truck before dumping it 2 days later. So he left her body in the back of his truck, I guess, for 2 days. How? Like, that's weird to me. Like, that's weird, right? I mean, I guess if he had a
canopy.
Yeah, exactly. Creeper. If he had a canopy, I'm sure that's probably why he probably had a canopy on his truck. Why canopy shouldn't exist. Now, on November 12th, 1999, Joyce Williams, who's 36, he kills her, then he mutilates her body at his home. He engages in cannibalism with her body, and then he dumps her body, but it was not found until 2000. But again, November of 1999, so it was probably like 3-4 months. Yeah. And then her body was found. So now between 2000 and 2003, Sean murders 3 more women, but there's not a lot of detail. So he murders in January of 2000, he murders Lillian Robinson, who was 52. On October 20th of 2000, he murders Marilyn Nevels, who's 38. And on October 9th, 2003, he murders Johnny May Williams, who is 45. But again, there's not much known about their murders because, again, I think part of this problem is that, like I said, a majority of his victims were prostitutes. So for those 3 women, it's probably like most likely they didn't dig too deep into their deaths, right? Because as we know, for some reason in the world of our law, the prostitutes don't deserve to be investigated more than just like, nope, you live the lifestyle, which I don't agree with, making that very clear. Now, on February 26th of 2004, Donna Johnston, who is 43, is killed. She is raped and she is mutilated and she was strangled to death. But now with this one, Sean takes multiple pictures of her mutilated body before he dumps it. And so that's that. So during this time, while all this stuff is going on with Sean, there's also a serial killer in Baton Rouge named Derek Todd Lee. And if that sounds familiar, that is because we've actually talked about Derek Lee. He's actually episode 8. Now we are on episode 76.
Yeah, that was a little bit ago.
It was a lot of bit ago. But I do remember him. And it's funny because when I first started researching him, I was like, that's weird. It's a Baton Rouge killer because Derek Lee is known as the Baton Rouge killer. And so that's why I was like, what? At first I was like, are we sure we haven't done him? But no. So now at the same time, there's 2 active serial killers in Baton Rouge going on. They end up arresting Derek in 2003, and they're blaming him for a bunch of murders. And then they start to realize that, he actually can't be linked to this murder and this murder and this murder, but these murders are all so similar that it's like, oof, okay. And so now they're realizing, shit, we might have a second serial killer on our hands.
It's crazy to think, because this isn't the first time that we've come across multiple serial killers at the same time in the same place.
LA had like 5 running together at the same time. But I think LA is much bigger than Baton Rouge. So it's like, that's interesting anyways in itself. The thing is, Donna's body is found. But where it's found, they also find tire tracks. So, you're talking about 2004. This is not back in the day. This is actually, what's funny,
2004 is over 20 years ago.
But when you watch videos from 2004, it looks like, why does it look like it's from the 80s?
Shit and stuff, yeah.
But we have technology, right? So the first thing they do is they see these tire tracks and they cast them. So they put that stuff in them to like cement them. Then they cast them and they take pictures of them. And then they start looking at the tread on the tires, trying to figure out what tires they are. And they come to find out that these tires are specific to these tires are specially made for one specific model of vehicle. So only one type of vehicle and one model of vehicle can have these tires. So they said, cool. So they take that, they start searching for the owners of said vehicle in the DMV records, and they come up with over 200 people who own this vehicle, which really is a lot, but not really.
Yeah, much. No, 200 is workable.
Right. Because they do have some strands of hair that they found at these crime scenes. And so they're looking for DNA. So they go and interview all of the people who own this vehicle, and they ask for DNA samples from every single one of them. Well, Sean happens to be one of the people that is questioned. And Sean willingly gives his DNA to them. Probably because he doesn't think that his DNA is going to be
he's
found.
like, they ain't going to give me.
So his DNA ends up actually matching to hairs that were found on 2 of the victims that were in the cluster of victims. They knew Derek Lee didn't kill. So this was the next best thing, right? So Sean's arrested, obviously. And on the day of his arrest, he actually confesses to multiple murders that he committed. Police end up searching his home. They find newspaper clippings about the murder of Carrie Yoder, who was Derek Lee's final victim. They also find a file on his computer that is called DTL, which were the which were the initials of Derek Todd Lee. And in this file on his computer, it had all of the news stories and all of the information that had publicly been released about the Derek Lee murders. They also found the pictures of Donna's body that he had taken, and they found those in his truck. And they also found pictures of other bodies as well with these pictures. So now they've got all this evidence to be like, yeah, you obviously are the one who did this.
Yeah. And it's interesting that, again, this isn't the first time, but it's like when these individuals get arrested, they're like, bleh! And they just
I know. Well,
they
I saw.
keep it. I'm hiding. Oh my God, I can't get caught. And as soon as they're caught, they're like, oh, jig is up. Here's 20 more.
I saw like his footage, like there's footage of his interrogation, and I saw it, and he is telling, like it was weird. It was like on one hand, you thought that he felt bad. And then all of a sudden he'd be like no remorse, stone cold laughing about what he was telling them, like laughing about victims. But he's telling.
Maybe that's his coping mechanism when he gets nervous or whatever.
The police officer that he was talking to had actually said he wanted to be praised for what he did. And he said, so that's what we did. So in the interview, he had said, like, I don't even know how we caught you. You were so good. I'm shocked that we were able to catch you. You're the hardest serial killer I've ever had to catch. Like, gave him all these things. And then he ends up at one point asking him why he did it or something. And he looks and he's like, it's the he goes, I have one word. It's the monster. And he's like, the monster kills them. And he's like, yeah. He's like, there's a monster in me that kills them. And they're going back and forth talking. And then he says, would you... Sean looks at the detective and goes, do you want me to show you the monster? And the detective was like, no, I do not.
I'd have been like, do it.
Like
let
Hulk.
Me see it.
Like let the Hulk out.
Right.
So anyway, so he does get arrested. He is charged with the murders of Catherine Hall and Johnny Williams, who were killed in October of 2003. And he's charged with the murder of Donna Johnston. So he gets those three. So July 21st, 2008, he goes to trial for the murders. He is found guilty, but the jury is deadlocked on what his sentence should be between death penalty or life in prison. So the judge gives him a life sentence. He does also end up pleading guilty to second-degree murder of Joyce Williams. Then he also pleads guilty to the murder of Marilyn Nevels and gets another life sentence. Now, Sean is currently incarcerated at the Louisiana State Penitentiary. He has no parole period, so that means he will never be released. So he's life in prison without parole. He is housed in their preventative segregation unit. So what this means is this is where they put notorious criminals, people labeled as serial killers, pedophiles, and basically anyone who would be deemed as a danger to the good order of the prison. Meaning that you did enough bad shit that if they put you in Gen Pop, you're going to die and it's going to cause problems. So he's protected. Essentially, he's protected, which sucks.
It's bullshit.
So he spends 22 to 23 hours a day in his cell. He gets 1 to 2 hours out of his cell every day by his choice, though. So they don't force them to leave their cells. They get their cells opened for 1 to 2 hours a day. They get to go out. They can go in the yard. They can go out and converse with other inmates that are also in the preventative segregation unit. That's his life. He's not shackled daily and stuff like that, but that's his life. He is not allowed to work in the prison. He's not allowed to have a job because he works or because he is in the preventative segregation unit, but he does have the option to take classes and he chooses not to. Now, a psychologist had been talked to about him, and they said that putting him in a segregated unit for 22 to 23 hours a day could be detrimental to his mental health. But then went on and said that to most people, it would be a problem. And I guess it was said that he actually asked to be in the segregated unit, which would make sense because he's a high profile, well-known serial killer. And those, when you have them go into prison, a lot of the times they don't fare well with regular prisoners, right? So he had asked to be put in this unit. They let him be in the unit, and
God damn, our dog's asshole just died.
Is that what that sound was? I think she farted. Did you hear that sound? Oh my God. Girl, that took my breath away, skunk. Oh my God. They did say, though, that somebody like him who is narcissistic, it actually might not affect him because he just thinks he's that good. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
he's like, well. Yeah, I chose this.
Yeah. So who knows? But to be honest with you, I don't care. I know that sounds really harsh, but I don't care about your fucking mental health after killing 8 women. Like, I don't care. Now, and of course,
hope it does fuck with you.
To be fair, there could always be more. And they've talked about that. He, yes, he admitted to the 8, but there's a 10-year time frame here. And he killed 8 women in 10 years. There could be more.
Yeah. Especially the way he was taking pictures and stuff like that. Like he was, it's like he wanted it type of thing.
Well,
like
just
he got
wait.
off on it.
Just wait till you hear the shots, which I'm about ready to give you.
Well, let's hear him.
They can't see you. He's over here giving me the rocker sign, or I don't know what that is. The rocker sign? Dun, 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 like that.
Yeah, so let's hear him.
So, but they can't see you. Okay, so here are some shots. So Sean has been referred to as the other Baton Rouge killer, not to be confused with Derek Todd Lee, the Baton Rouge killer. Okay, so he was named.
He probably thinks, well, I mean, it could go two ways. He could be like, oh my God, I'm not the other. I'm the Baton Rouge killer.
No,
or he can be like, oh, with my boy.
Yeah, because I think when they found all that shit on his computer, I think he kind of idolized.
He was like idolizing him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for him, when the media started calling him the other Baton Rouge killer,
he was like, I made it.
I made it. Now, Sean ended up corresponding through letters to a friend of Donna's, the last woman that he killed. He ends up corresponding with that person through letters. And in these letters, he explains to the friend that he has some remorse for murdering Donna. Like he tries to explain it, but in a weird way. So part of what he's very like, I would be pissed if I was the friend, if this was the letter I got. Cause this is what this is what do you call that? A
snippet.
Yeah. This is a little snippet of what he wrote her. Quote, "She was so drunk it only took about a minute and a half to succumb to the unconsciousness and then death. Honestly, her last words were, 'I can't breathe.' I still puzzle over the post-mortem dismemberment and cutting. There must be something deep in my subconscious that really needs that kind of macabre action." So he writes this to the friend of a woman he murdered, where he basically says, yeah, I killed her, and it was short and sweet. Didn't take very long. Also, her last words were, "I can't breathe." And I don't really understand the dismemberment thing. I don't really know why I would have done that, other than I just might like have to have that kind of shit in my behavior. Like I'd be pissed. I would be so pissed if that was a letter that I got. Which, by the way, she does take those letters and turn them over to the police.
As she should.
Now, Sean also claims that stress is what drove him to kill. Stress. And he's also said that he is pure evil for committing the murders. See what I mean? Like he goes back and forth. Like, I'm stressed, so I
about
kill.
What? Not having a girlfriend at 3 a.m. in the morning? Like,
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, you're stressed, so you kill. But also you're pure evil for killing, like whatever. Sean also used to lie on his front yard and bark at the moon, which terrified his neighbors. To be fair, if I got a man outside my house at midnight barking at the moon every night, that's going to make me think a kind of weird shit about him too.
Yeah.
And finally, in his interrogation, he said, and I quote, "I'm sorry I hurt people, but I would do it again. You let me out on the street, I'll find somebody by sundown." He also said, "If anything in my useless life comes out, help the little girls today not to be the premature corpses of tomorrow." See what I mean? Like in one breath, he's saying, if you let me out, I'll literally go find someone tonight and kill him. But also, hey, my life is shitty. I'm a shitty person. So can you help the young women of today not turn out to be like the women I killed? Like, I don't understand him. But what I can say is, we don't know why he killed. He will never I don't even know if he knows really why he kills. But the fact that he says, I will literally kill again if you let me out of prison, that makes me think there's more people out there.
Oh, for sure.
You didn't just kill 8 women in 10 years. Or
no.
What is it, 10 years? You didn't kill just 8 women in 10 years. You killed many more. The difference is you just either don't remember or don't want to talk about it. And that's it. And so it's just, he's just kind of I don't know.
Poop
But
head.
anyways, that's Sean That's Sean Gillis.
The other
Baton Rouge killer. Which also, now that we say it that way, I do wonder because I'm sitting here thinking about it. Do you really ever want to be the other one?
Right.
Or
Did
do
he
you want to be
idolize
the
him?
original?
Right. Did he idolize him, or was he like,
I want to be better than him, and then he
Exactly.
didn't get to be better than him because
Yeah.
he's the other. Because, like, really, the media could. So David Lee is the Baton Rouge killer. They literally could have been the Baton Rouge murderer. They could have said the Baton Rouge monster. They could have said the Baton Rouge dismemberer.
they might
could
have
said
if he would
any
have
of
let
those.
the monster out?
They could have said any of those things, but they chose to use the other instead.
Yeah.
That's
which is
almost like a slap in his face, which I kind of like. I kind of like it because, he did, like I said, in his thing, he talks about being a monster. And it's like they could have absolutely used the Baton Rouge monster. 100% could have been his name in all the media. And they chose to just call him the other.
Yep.
Like, you're just not that good, buddy.
Sucker.
That's rude. That's rude on my part to be laughing, but also, whatever.
Yep. Hey, if you're trying to go for fame, well, you're the other.
I just think it's weird that they found all that shit on his computer though about Derek, because Derek was obviously killing at the same time as him, but if my memory serves me correctly, I don't know if Derek was killing in 1994.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and relook at my episode. I don't remember if Derek started killing earlier than that or not. But the fact that he had all of Derek Lee's information because he was caught in 2003, that's when he gets all of his information. He was killing before that. So he wasn't
for sure.
He wasn't trying to be like Derek because he was already killing people. But it, like you said, I almost wonder if it was like, well, I want to be better than that guy.
There's somebody else killing.
Yeah. What can I do to make myself be better than him, maybe?
Right.
Yeah, because it's not like they knew about each other. But anyways. So that's the story of Sean Vincent Gillis, the other Baton Rouge killer.
And if you made it through to this point, we thank you.
We do, because I'm very tired, folks. I struggled with this one, and I normally am all gung-ho to do it, but I got packing to do, and my brain's all over the place, and I'm tired, because camping should be relaxing, but it's not when you have 3 dogs.
Nope. And that is very skittish around rabbits.
We
and
found
this campground was covered
in rabbits. It was a good time, but man, oh man, it was a lot of work and a lot of not stress, really, just tiring.
No, just tiring.
Going to bed super
not getting
late.
Your normal sleep.
Yeah, and we sleep in a trailer. Okay, so we're not like camping.
An RV.
We're glamping, so we have like a regular bed, and normally we sleep great, but having the dogs made it different because one, like the first night we were there, the one that was afraid or skittish of rabbits couldn't sleep for the life of her. So it was a thing. And so now I'm paying for it. And then I got to hop on a plane in literally a day. And I'm just like, I can't let my anniversary be ruined by my camping
No
trip.
way. At least we got a full day to get everything ready. We'll get it taken care of so we can go to bed tomorrow night, nice and chill, and then hit the plane.
So we got to get up in the morning.
Get our coffees.
Yeah, we're going to be
all
doing
right.
it. And we're flying first class, just want to let you know. So anyways, that is all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for joining us. If you are not following us, please make sure you click the follow button, and don't be afraid to share us with your friends and family that might like our vibe. We appreciate everything you guys have done so far because it's a constant up and up, and we appreciate it, and thank you. And last thing I'm going to say is thank you so much for listening to me tell you the story about the other Baton Rouge killer. Until next week, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Remember to lock your doors and bar your windows. Until next time.